he actually enjoyed it, causing his long-term smoking habit that you see in the videos, almost like basically all of them. Personal life. Despite his angry and brash persona on camera, people who meet Charles in person claim that he was a very charming, polite and funny. His youngest son Michael works as the website webmaster and graphic designer, and despite further brash, often confrontational relationship on camera, he and Michael claim to have a good father-son relationship off camera. Charles married for the first time at some point in the early 70s. He and his first wife had a daughter, Dawn Michelle Green, July 30th, 1971, age 49, who currently lives in Alabama. After divorcing his first wife, he was married to his second wife, Tina Green, born January 4th, 1964, age 57, for 30 years in 1982. In what can be described as a very unhappy marriage, as Charles would often curse her out and disrespect her and destroy her Elvis memorabilia in videos. This is because Tina spent a lot of her money, including money reserved for paying bills, on Elvis stuff, among other things. He stated in one of his videos, talking to his late sister Charlene, that he only married Tina because she was pregnant and wanted to do the right thing. He had gained a hatred towards everything at times, and especially to what his ex-wife Tina loves. This includes Elvis Presley, cats, and Christmas. After his mother died in 1999, Green purchased a pet male chihuahua named Pi to cheer himself up. But 2 years later, Pi was mauled to death by a neighbour's Rottweiler after he got angry. Charles worked several jobs during his life, including volunteer firefighter, peanut salesman, apartment maintenance, and the owner of multiple failed small businesses, such as a clonogram business. In 2003, Grandpa and his family sold their previous house and moved to the trailer in Trillwood at Sharp's instance. Tina's parents, Betty Sharp, born October 10th, 1931 to February 22nd, 2002, aged 70, and Robert Sharp Sr., June 20th, 1928 to April 21st, 2003, aged 74, were the previous owners of the trailer from 1987 until they died, and she didn't want the trailer to leave the family. He used to live in a 30-year-old trailer in Trillwood Trailer Park in North Charleston, South Carolina for a long time, and was home to where a majority of his videos took place up until April 9th, 2012, when Boeing purchased the park to turn it into a highway and ultimately forced residents to vacate the area. This led Charles to rallying his fans in an attempt to stop the purchase and save hundreds of residents from relocating and becoming homeless, but unfortunately it was to no avail, except giving him time, and the lot was ultimately sold. Charles and everyone Alice is forced to move out. This experience caused Charles to have an increased hatred for large corporations for being able to push poor people around, as well as for Governor Nikki Haley for doing nothing to help the residents or trying to stand up for them. Health. Angry Grandpa had fluctuating health problems throughout his life. He was an alcoholic in his younger years, began heavy smoking as young as age 6, which I have already explained. He has multiple incidents of urinary tract infections, kidney stone, small hernia, malnourishment, and cellulitis. In the 90s, Grandpa supposedly weighed as much as 800 pounds. He was forced to use a wheelchair for mobility and use 15 pills a day for his blood pressure, heart, diabetes and gallbladder problems, etc. In 1999, Grandpa underwent bypass surgery. His heart stopped beating during the operation, forcing the doctors to abort surgery in order to save his life. While the surgery did result in him losing weight and removing gallbladder, it gave him the horrible side effect of dumping syndrome, where he was pooping 20 to 30 times a day and caused him horrible pain, and struggled with the syndrome for over 15 years. That he became addicted to painkillers until in 2014 he found a medication called methylscopolamine bromide that made him go to the bathroom normally and kept the dumping syndrome at bay. On October 21st, 2006, Grandpa was admitted to hospital to remove a massive hernia on his stomach. When surgery, it was reported that he went into a cardiac arrest. Luckily, he was revived, but was in a coma approximately a month following the incident. Doctors had given him a poor prognosis that his heart and lungs were not recovering. The family had discussed funeral arrangements when Kimberly states she came to the ICU and begged him to wake up, which he did at that moment. Michael stated that when Grandpa woke up from being in a coma, he stated he had seen his dead mother and father and wanted to go back. Divorce. According to an episode of the podcast Shut the Fuck Up and Listen, the Grandpa suggested that Tina was crazy and claimed that she was bipolar. She went on to talk about his entire relationship with Tina, the incidents such as her burning down her trailer, pouring hot tea on a young Michael after his mother's death. Tina destroyed the items that his mum left him due to jealousy. After the Angry Grandpa Show channel begun, she started getting jealous of the fans, accusing Grandpa of cheating on her female fans on Skype. Over the months, her sanity fell, even called the DSS on Grandpa, causing him to go to anger management and improvement parenting school. Tina eventually destroyed the social security cards, birth certificates of her grandchildren. Angry Grandpa tried to relieve the situation, but Tina refused and had planned to move to New York. She took a set of keys, a desecrated Angry Grandpa's car. DSS officially made it clear that Tina is not allowed near her grandchildren unless under supervision. At the courthouse, the judge disagreed about giving custody to Grandpa since he knew the angry Grandpa moniker. After investigation, he spent hours watching every single video. After a talk with the judge, he agreed to get custody as long as Tina isn't around the grandchildren. Unsupervised, after Charles explained visited Tina, she deframed him. She made flyers of him with his number saying that he was looking for him to sleep with. After this issue, Grandpa told her that the divorce is final. After the courts, she said that she could see the grandchildren if her behaviour changed. But she didn't care for that. Grandpa and Michael both spent money to get her transportation and a place to stay. But she continued to ungratefully use the money on things she didn't need, even taking out a loan in Grandpa's name. Michael claims he spends over $1,000 a month to pay her utilities and made sure she had a roof over her head because none of her relatives would let her stay with them. After Tina found a new boyfriend, he broke up with her because she allegedly harassed him at a hospital. She thought the family hired him to date her a month and leave her near Christmas of 2012 due to Jennifer's improvement at working. Grandpa agreed to give his grandchildren back to her. Tina, an attempted middleman, was supposed to bring the grandchildren to Jennifer. Hours later, Jennifer called Grandpa about Tina not going to pick her up, and Grandpa found out that the grandchildren were with Tina's new drug-addicted boyfriend. He drove there himself and took the boys away from her and vowed never to have him see her again. He firmly believed that he was not in the wrong in the situation, and denounced any viewers who believed he was Grandpa. And Tina had discussions over time as Michael patched his relationship with her, even helping her move to New York. Surprisingly, Grandpa and Tina eventually became friends once again. They had remained close friends and talked to each other on the phone, as evident by live streams and Kim's videos. Eventually, Tina returned to begin appearing in the Angry Grandpa videos as she patched her relationship with her grandchildren. And it goes on with long relationships. And yes, the Angry Grandpa hated a lot of things. He hated his ex-wife. He hated cats. He hated Christmas. He hated Thanksgiving. He hated his next door neighbour when he moved into the new trailer. He hated Michael's girlfriend, aka Pickle Boy. So yeah, that is the story of the Angry Grandpa. Wow, that was a long story. I've been talking for over 30 minutes. And that is like, and that was a roller coaster of a ride. Anyway, goodbye, fellow people of the internet. See you in the next episode.